So the last trend I want to talk about is trend in reactivity of elements, okay? And you can take a look at a couple of group of elements to explain why they have the reactivity that we observe. So, for example, let's look at group 1A, which is composed of lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium. All of these elements can react with water. You remember that we had a demonstration with sodium before in lab, where I put in a piece of sodium metal in water and it generates a very vigorous reaction. A little bit of fire was produced, a lot of gas, which is hydrogen gas. Okay. Now it turns out that all of these elements can react with water, but they give very different types of results. Okay. So lithium reacts with water to produce the same type of product that we would see for the other one as well, which is lithium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. But this is a very kind of low intensity type of reaction where the hydrogen gas that's produced only fizzes a little bit. It's not, basically it's not very hot. You don't get a whole lot of heat out of this particular reaction. It turns out as you go down that group, by the time you get to cesium, the reaction with water is so violent that a lot of times when you carry out this reaction with cesium, forming cesium hydroxide, it explodes right away in contact with water, and a lot of times this hydrogen that's generated is so energetic that it would explode the container. Okay? So then the question is, well, why do we see that? Why do we see such a explosive increase in energy when we have a reaction between cesium, but then we see a lot less of that when we have a reaction with lithium? You can explain this pretty much by the, again, trend that you observe in these elements within a group, right? Now I want you to use the same explanation that we just used for group 1A to explain the reactivity for group 7A elements. Okay, so let's say you have F, Cl, Br, and I. What would you expect the reactivity to go as you go from F to I? Would you expect the reactivity to increase, or would you expect the reactivity to decrease? Okay, and whether you expect it to increase or decrease, you should also be able to explain why you expect an increase or decrease.